Welcome to another episode of Grub Masters. I'm John Deary.
And I'm Chris Deary. Today we're doing beef stew. This isn't just any ordinary beef stew. This is Guinness beef stew. It's kind of cold out today, and there's nothing better than a nice warm beef stew in your belly.
It's like 25 degrees here today.
Like 25 degrees here in Connecticut. We're going to do all our prepping, cooking, even the cleanup outdoors, because that's what we do.
So we're going to do an easy one-pot stew today because there's not a lot of cleanup involved. In fact, I'm going to use 2 utensils today. So this is just going to be amazing. I can't wait. Let's just get into it.
Tell me about your ingredients.
All right. So I've got a 5-pound chuck roast here. I like the chuck roast. It's got a lot of flavor to it. It's got a lot of marbling in the fat, fat marbled into it. It's a great tasting roast by itself. I'm going to cut that down into bite-sized cubes. I like to do that myself because, you know.
Yeah, sometimes the butcher does it for you, but you know, the butcher's in a rush. He wants to get it out there. He gives you pieces almost the size of your fist. You're still going to have to work it. You're still going to have to cut it down to get it to that bite-sized piece.
Yeah, and you know, we talk about this all the time. We're really lazy. I want to enjoy my beef stew. I don't want to work at cutting it up. It's got to be already bite-sized pieces, you know, straight away in the pot, in my bowl.
Absolutely.
So,
what else you got here?
We got a bunch of veg here. Again, we're going to quarter that all up or you know, cube it all up. Bite-sized pieces. I've got some onions. I've got some yellow potatoes. I like the yellow potatoes in this dish. We've got some celery, baby carrots. I like to cheat with the baby carrots. I don't have to be, you know, with the carrots. So I get those already done. We cut them in half. We're good. Garlic. You can never have too much garlic.
I love garlic.
I love garlic.
We all
love garlic. So we've got 10 cloves of garlic here. You could adjust up or down with that. We like 10. 10's a nice round number.
Yep.
Some fresh thyme. I've got some beef stock, and of course, seasonings. But the star of the show, Chris.
The star of the show is the Guinness. You can't have Guinness beef stew without Guinness.
And the Guinness just gets in there, and it just gives it that little extra oomph. It makes it like creamy. It's just so good. It's just magical. So
love it.
We're going to render this all down. We're going to cube everything up. We're not going to bore you with those details. Let's not kid ourselves. Everybody knows how to cut up a carrot, right?
Absolutely.
So we're going to get into that. And then we're going to show you how we brown up our beef. Chris, everything's chopped up. Bite-sized morsels. Perfect.
And it looks great. Now it's time to season the beef.
Right. So, again, we want to go as utensilous as possible here. I've got a half a cup of flour in the Ziploc bag, and we're going to add some seasonings, Chris.
Very important that you season the beef. You want to get those layers of flavor in there. We're going to season the beef. We're going to get a nice sear on it. And then that's just going to add a little bit of complexity to the flavor. And you can't have a bland stew out there. No. So
it's all about layers of flavor. So we got some coarse black pepper here. Let's throw on a little garlic powder.
A little shaky shake of the garlic powder. Let's just go to the
big side. Nice.
Some onion powder. Oop. Got a big chunk in there.
Yeah, just stow away.
Break that up.
And a couple pinches of salt. All right, Chris. Let's just manhandle this beef. Get it in the bag. I'm going to hold it. You're going to want to hold this tight. You don't want to drop your beef.
Beef's going in. Oh, this is a nice cut, John. You did a good job on this. Beef is looking
Now,
really
you're probably thinking, wow, you get a lot of cross-contamination going on here. This is all getting cooked in the same pot. It just doesn't matter at this point. Oh, we got a rogue thyme there.
All right. Getting down there. That one little piece keeps getting me, John.
That's all right.
All right.
All right, at this point, we're going to seal this up, and we're just going to moosh it around, shake, and we're going to get everything coated up.
Yep.
All right. And then we're going to season our beef. We're going to season our beef up here, shaky shake again, and then we're going to brown it. It's time to brown the beef.
We're going to cook this beef in our 14-inch deep, large Dutch oven.
Right. Now, what we want to do is we want to lay down a really heavy bed of coals. We're not baking, we're browning. So I'm going to just load this up with coals. And these coals are nice and hot. We've had them going for a little while now. And we're going to just set that on there.
That'll just take about a second to come up to temp.
And, you know, let's just get the beef right in there. Let's just not fool around. We'll brown this up right away.
Going in with the beef.
You probably already hear a sizzle. All right. So we're just going to move this back and forth. We're going to brown it all up. It's been 15 minutes. Our beef is ready. It's time to take it to the next step.
Sounds good. John, why don't you move that to the side? I'll slap in a little bit of the tomato paste here.
It's pretty cold out, so we want to soften this paste up so it's not just a big blob of cold tomato. And we're going to throw our garlic in too. We'll soften that up as well. All right, so I'm just going to kind of moosh that around a little bit. We'll just soften it up. We'll give it about a minute. All right, that's warmed up for about a minute, so I think it's time to move on to the liquid stage.
All right, liquid stage. I'm going to put here a quart of beef broth. Actually, we're going to use 2, but I'm going to do 1 at a time. And now for the star fluid ingredient.
This is what makes it.
Oh, nothing sounds like a Guinness when it's cracked.
Smells good.
Smells good.
Tastes better.
Speaking of that,
a lot for the pot, a little for you. All right. So now I'm just gonna move this around a little bit. I'm gonna try to get some of that stuff off the bottom. And while I do that, Chris is gonna actually put some of that fresh thyme in there.
should be good, John.
All right, so I'm just going to stir this up. I'm going to try to get some of those bits off the bottom, kind of break up what's been browning down there. And this is going to come up to a simmer pretty quick, but we're pretty impatient, so we're not even going to really wait for that. What we're going to do now is we're going to take our veg and we're going to fill it in to the pot. Now, we got to be a little careful. We don't want to overflow our pot. We cut a lot of veg. It's not like we measured this out to exactly, you know, the proportions we needed. So we're just going to kind of add that in. I like a lot of onion. Let's put all the onion in first, and then we'll supplement with the other veg.
Sounds good.
We're going to want to do this to about 1 inch of the top of the pot here. Otherwise, we'll have trouble stirring.
Take a gander, see how
Yeah, let's see what this looks like. I mean, that's probably perfect because everything's going to be submerged underneath that liquid, and we've got plenty of room to stir here.
It's looking good already, John.
Yeah, it's nice and colorful. This really comes out good. What we're going to do now is we're just going to lid this up. We're going to let it simmer for about, what, 2 hours?
About 2 hours.
2 hours or so. We're going to check it. We're going to give it a little taste for seasoning, and it's just going to be amazing. This has been simmering beautifully for about 2 hours. We've been able to smell it. The steam just kind of pulls out from underneath that lid, hits you in the face, and it just smells so good. So we've taken a look. We're going to pop this open so you guys could see it. And what we've noticed is it's just a little bit wet. It's going to taste great, but we thought we'd thicken it up a little bit. So what are we going to do now, Chris?
All right, it's just a little thin, so we made a little slurry here of cornstarch and water. Maybe about half cup of water, John.
Right.
So
we're just going to drizzle this in. I'm going to stir it. And when that cornstarch blooms, it's going to just thicken this up into a nice, kind of like a gravy almost. It's not bad. Like I said, it's nice. It's nice and thick, but it's just a little bit thinner than we like it. So we'll stir this in completely.
Oh, it smells amazing.
Yeah, this is great. You can see the steam coming off of this. Nice cold day. It's nice. You could really see that steam, and you could smell it right away.
Slurry's been in there about 10 minutes now. Let's take a look, John.
Yeah, let's see what we got. Oh, man.
Oh, yeah,
right. You just get that blast of scent.
Right away, you can tell it's gotten
a little bit thicker.
Yeah.
You know, this is good. I'm a little impatient. I just want to eat this.
I am too. What do you think?
Let's get a little tasty taste.
Let's do it.
Do a little scoop, little scoop. Oh, man. I think you gave yourself a little more meat there, Chris.
Hey, you know.
That's what happens when you scoop. I'm just going to dive right in and get a whole piece of everything here. Mm.
Mm.
Yeah, you can see.
Yeah.
I feel a little bit like a dragon. It's so good, but it's so hot. But it feels great today.
Feels great.
Feels great.
Feels like it's 0 degrees out there, but this is...
You know what I like to do when I'm camping too is I just hold my hands underneath my bowl because my bowl's nice and warm.
Mm.
But, you know, the carrots are nice and tender, but they're not mushed. The potatoes held up good. 2 hours is nice. It really softens up your veg. The beef is as tender as can be. Using that chuck, really, wow, it was so good. Using the chuck is a nice tender piece of beef, and when it just sits there and stews and simmers for those 2 hours, it's just like, it just falls apart in your mouth. And that Guinness flavor, this sauce, this gravy is just amazing. Got a little piece of garlic here. It's really good. All right. We're going to plate this up for you guys. We're going to give you some glamour shots, let you ooh and ah. We hope we've inspired you to do an easy one-pot meal out in the woods. We're obviously doing this in the convenience of our backyard just for the sake of videotaping it, but we've done this many, many times out camping, and it's just amazing on a nice cold day. See you next time. Car bomb?
Car bomb.
Car bomb.
Car bomb.
I love it.
Come on, pony up, pony boy.
It's so cold.